persecution faces you, when rejection faces you, when you think my organization is ill-treating me and is not treating me the same way it treats others, that's the time you must show more loyalty to your organization. You must have a conviction of your own. When they were hitting me, when they pushed me, I said to them, take all the positions, suspend me from standing for any position, leave me with the membership. They still refused and pushed me to where I am. I never left them because I knew I was not in it for positions. I was in it for the ideas, and those ideas were economic emancipation of our people. When they locked out the platform for economic emancipation, we had to create an alternative. But we're not going to leave them because they removed us from positions. We never begged for positions. Why would you come to the EFF that was formed by people who never begged for positions and come and fight for positions? We fight for ideas and not for positions. Comrades, whites are there to finish us all. We can't afford to finish each other. If you doubt, go and look at Dali Mpofu. Today, we are being asked, how much is Dali Mpofu being paid for representing the public protector? But there was Paul Pretorius, who was an evidence leader in the Zondo Commission. A white man was paid 38,000 per day. No one has ever asked, how much is this man being paid per day? But because today it's an African man representing an African woman, we must now know how much are they spending on this man. Monies, how much Dali Mpofu is being paid is splashed all over through screenshots, social media. This is how much Mpofu is being paid. Mpofu doesn't, they didn't say Mpofu has stolen money or has done corruption. They are punishing him for being paid for the job he has performed. But a white man who has spent 2 billion in a useless Zondo commission was paid 38,000 per day, not per year. My mother died without having been paid 38,000 because she worked as a domestic worker. Per day. No one has ever asked a question. A white man goes on SABC, Paul O'Sullivan. Paul O'Sullivan thinks that everybody in South Africa is scared of him. Someone who's got access to him, he must be told that we in the EFF are not scared of Paul O'Sullivan. We will never allow Paul O'Sullivan to hold this country at ransom. No British spy will ever hold this country at ransom. Paul O'Sullivan, who is a handler of Cyril Ramaphosa from apartheid times, goes in an interview. Sakina Kamendo asks a simple question. A white man becomes pink and starts speaking to her rudely because who's this girl to ask me questions? I'm a white man. No black girl will ask me this type of questions. That's what he was saying effectively. But let me tell you, no NGO has issued a statement condemning him because he's a white man insulting an African woman. No SANEF has issued a statement. No tribal authority. No church pastor. No elders nonsense. That's why now I don't listen to all these fools, irrespective of their ages, because they are hypocrites. When it favors them, they say nothing. Where is Reverend Chikani, who was making noise here saying he's an elder veteran? Where is Msimang? Where is that group of veterans which were saying we are veterans, hey, Zuma is corrupt? Here is a man, a favorite of white capital, Ramaphosa, who was found with millions of dollars in his house. They all went under the same mattress of dollars. Because everything white man favors is a right thing. Ramaphosa commits crime. The whole media wants to convince us how that crime is not crime. Why can't you ask yourself a question, you ANC members who are listening to us bloody crooks through YouTube? Why don't you ask yourself what was going to happen to Malema if those dollars were found inside Malema's house? Why are we not equal before the law, all of us? A person who occupies that office of the president must be the cleanest person, more than the word clean. And Ramaphosa is found with dollars. A white man inside an African female. An African lawyer represent an African female. All of that the white man doesn't like. Even our own black people join to ask how much is Dali Mpofu being paid. Hey, what? Only the EFF said this nonsense of Paul O'Sullivan is unacceptable. Only the EFF said you can't treat an African woman like a slave. Even if Mkhwebane is not a good public protector, she still has got the rights. You can't treat her the same way slaves were treated. Slaves were not allowed to have lawyers. Today in Parliament, after the Constitutional Court said Mkhwebane must have lawyers, a hearing continues without Mkhwebane having lawyers. And we still claim that we are in a democratic South Africa where we are all equal. I spoke in Parliament. The EFF spoke. They ruled against us. We don't speak to win. We speak to record it in the history of our society, that one day when children come to read history, they must know there was a time where an organization existed to represent black people unashamedly. We will not leave her. We don't have to like her. Even hardened criminals who raped 27 women at a time still have lawyers. Still have lawyers. If they rock up in court without lawyers after raping, after killing, a court gets postponed because they too have rights. A public protector who hasn't killed anyone, who only went against the powerful. Why do you all want to pretend like the Western Cape High Court didn't say Ramaphosa suspended her because he was paying revenge after the public protector said, answer the 37 questions on Palapal? She was not suspended because she stole anything. She was not suspended because she killed anyone. She was suspended because she dared questioned the powerful. She touched the untouchables. If she had asked us those questions, she will still be alive today. She will be a public protector with more benefits because you went against Ramaphosa's enemies. Our support for Busisiwe Mkhwebane is not because we say she's the best of the best public protectors. It's a support based on principle. Do not fire people because you hate them, even when they have not done anything wrong. She has not done anything wrong. Even if her rulings are wrong, she is like a judge. You can take her rulings to the court for review and set aside, which is what they've done many a times. So why do you behave like you don't have a recourse? Fighters, ESCOM is being destroyed. And when ESCOM gets destroyed and renewable energy is introduced, electricity is going to be in the hands of the private sector. When the electricity is in the hands of private sector, the first thing the private sector does is to cut jobs by half. The second thing the private sector does is to increase the price. I don't want you to go and do research. Let me give you a quick example. SAA. I told you, South Africa, that once SAA collapsed, the people of the whole of Limpopo, Gauteng, Northwest, Mpumalanga, and everywhere else, they will no longer go to Cape Town. Cape Town will be left for the rich. Look at the flights now. Those of you who come from Eastern Cape and visit a lot in Gauteng and come back to East London, this December, if you are lucky, single trip, if you are lucky to come from Joburg to East London, it will be 4,500. And that is your salary and your bonus. So, Makotuka must just stay there, because they won't come back. And don't blame them for not coming back. They have no money. The flights are crazy. If you want to come back home in East London, start paying your flight now for next year, December. Because it's going to be worse than that. They collapsed SAA, brought the private sector, reduced employees, increased the prices. ESCOM is going to be like that. And when ESCOM is like that, me and you are going to go back where we were. Remember, we grew up without electricity. Those who are fortunate to have now. Those who are fortunate to have now. Those days are coming back. You will have electricity wires, but there won't be power, because you won't afford to buy. And who will not afford? It's a black man. So we are going there. I'm telling you this. We were the only organization that marched to ESCOM under heavy rains. We knew even after marching, there is nothing we can do. The powerful have spoken, but we have marked it in history, so that when your children do not have electricity in the next 5 years to come, they will not blame it on us. They will ask you a question: where were you when they were decommissioning power stations of ESCOM? Where were you when they were destroying coal mines in South Africa, the same countries that says coal is contributing to pollution? They are the ones who are now saying, bring your coal to Germany, bring your coal to Europe. Yet, you must not use your coal. Your big-nosed president has signed that and said, no, you can take this coal, we don't want it anymore. Let me tell you, once coal mines are closed, there will no longer be a province called Mpumalanga, because that province depends on coal mines for economic sustainability. So, comrades, SAA has collapsed, Denel has collapsed, Transnet has collapsed, PRASA has collapsed. They've never built anything new. Everything they found, they destroyed it. I keep on saying this because we want to continue to remind the South Africans that they too are a problem. All of these things are happening right in front of their eyes, not in secret, yet they continue to trust the same puppets of imperialism to empower the South African population. Comrade, UN has voted many times that USA must remove its illegal blockade against Cuba. Till today, they are refusing. There was another vote. The USA uses its funding to UN and uses its veto power to undermine the UN resolution when it comes to the embargo against Cuba. Cuba is punished because it can produce its own pharmaceutical. It can run its own independent, empowering programs in Cuba. USA doesn't want that. So we in the EFF were inspired by Cuba and will always stand in solidarity with the people of Cuba. If you are xenophobic, you have no home in the EFF and you have no home in the Eastern Cape. If you call people Makwere, yeah, in Eastern Cape, go to where we had the Women's Day event. Go to Matatiele and go and look at how Xhosas and Sothos live together. They have embraced each other's cultures. Now even Xhosa men wear the blanket of Basotho. You are too late, Sesi. You are still calling people Makwere because you don't hear their names. That is not their problem, it's your problem of illiteracy. Don't blame us. How do you hate a person because you can't hear their language? Yet you can't hear the English. You can't hear Afrikaans. But those people, you don't hate them because they are the ones who control your mind and tell you who to hate, who to love. I told you about Dali Mpofu yesterday. If you say there is Makwere here in Eastern Cape, in East London, then Dali Mpofu is El Kwere. Because there is Mpofu in Zimbabwe. Then there is Mpofu here in Eastern Cape. Which Mpofu are you talking about? They are Zulus in Zimbabwe. They are Zulus here. Actually, they are Xhosas in Zimbabwe. They are Xhosas in the Eastern Cape. When you say people are Makwere, it means it includes you. Because when we start attacking the Xhosa speaking Zimbabweans, Makwere, we will not know which one is which one. You are happy here in East London calling people Makwere and beating them up. You are inspiring those criminals in Gauteng. When they are done with Zimbabweans, they are going to go for Xhosas. You are not from here. Go to Gantina. Hamba. That's when you are going to realize that from xenophobia, it goes to tribalism. And once it goes into tribalism, it's unstoppable. It leads to genocides. People are going to kill each other based on language. By the way, our language, all Africans, especially in South Africa, is the same. You can't speak Xhosa throughout and not have a spade word in the Xhosa. It might mean something else, but we've got the same word in spade. What is bribe in Xhosa? Ukunyoba. And ukunyoba in spade means something else. But we've got the word in spade. So be careful to classify people based on tribe and based on language or regionalism. We must classify people on their blackness. When they are black, they are my brother, they are my sister. Africa is one. No white man is going to tell me who's my brother, who's my sister. Stop sucking up to the jobs of white people, because when you say, hey, basithathela imisebenzi, which misebenzi? Misebenzi are given to you by a white man. So it means you are both fighting to work for a white man. That's what you are proud of. In the EFF, we are not fighting for imisebenzi. We are fighting for ownership of misebenzi.